When you compress your daily food intake into a single intentional eating window, commonly referred to as one meal a day, you are not depriving your body of nourishment, nor are you forcing it into a state of emergency, but instead you are activating a metabolic program that modern lifestyles rarely allow to function properly. To understand this, imagine the body as a warehouse that never closes, where food arrives continuously from morning until night, leaving no time for organization, repair, or cleanup. And over time, this constant activity creates congestion, inefficiency, and damage beneath the surface. When eating finally stops for an extended period, the doors close, deliveries pause, and for the first time in years, the internal systems are free to restore balance, repair structural weaknesses, and clear accumulated waste. This is not philosophy or belief. It is human physiology operating exactly as designed. Hours 0 to 4. The fed state and insulin dominance. The fasting timeline begins the moment you finish your last meal, during which your digestive system remains active as proteins are broken down into amino acids and carbohydrates are converted into glucose that enters the bloodstream. In response, the pancreas releases insulin, a hormone whose primary role is to move energy into cells and store any excess for later use. When insulin levels are elevated, energy can only move inward, meaning stored body fat remains inaccessible, effectively locked away and unavailable for use. During this phase, the body relies entirely on incoming fuel and stored glycogen, which functions like readily available cash, useful but limited. And while you feel comfortable and normal, no fat loss or cellular repair is occurring yet. Hours 4 to 12. Hunger signals and glycogen usage. As digestion slows and blood glucose begins to stabilize, insulin levels gradually decline, signaling the transition away from immediate energy availability. This is the stage where many people experience hunger, irritability, or discomfort, driven largely by the hormone ghrelin, which responds to habit rather than true energy deficiency. What most people interpret as starvation is actually the body requesting the fuel source it has been conditioned to expect, not because it lacks energy, but because it has not yet accessed deeper reserves. During this period, the liver begins releasing stored glycogen to maintain blood sugar levels, ensuring that muscle tissue and vital organs remain protected, while energy demands are met internally. Around 12 hours, the shift toward fat utilization. As glycogen reserves approach depletion, insulin reaches its lowest baseline, allowing fat-burning pathways to activate without obstruction. This moment represents a critical metabolic shift, where the body transitions from relying on stored sugar to unlocking fat reserves, a process that has been largely inaccessible in frequent eaters. At this point, the body is no longer running on food consumed earlier, but instead begins drawing energy directly from stored adipose tissue, restoring metabolic flexibility and efficiency. Hours 14 to 16. Stable energy and ketone production. As fat breakdown accelerates, fatty acids are converted in the liver into ketones, which serve as an alternative and highly efficient fuel source, particularly for the brain. Unlike glucose, which fluctuates and contributes to oxidative stress, ketones provide a stable, clean-burning energy supply that supports mental clarity, sustained focus, and consistent physical energy. This is why many people report reduced hunger, improved concentration, and a noticeable absence of energy crashes during this phase, reflecting a return to the body's natural metabolic rhythm. Hours 16 to 18. Autophagy and cellular repair. With prolonged absence of incoming nutrients, the body initiates autophagy, a highly regulated process of cellular recycling where damaged proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, and accumulated waste are broken down and reused. This internal cleanup system allows cells to renew themselves, reducing inflammation, improving tissue quality, and supporting long-term cellular health in a way that constant feeding prevents. Autophagy represents one of the most powerful regenerative mechanisms available to the human body, and only becomes active when eating pauses long enough to allow repair to take priority. Hours 20 to 22. Muscle preservation and growth. Hormone release. Contrary to common fears, extended fasting does not lead to muscle loss, because during this stage the body significantly increases production of human growth hormone, a powerful muscle protective and fat mobilizing signal. Growth hormone ensures that lean tissue is preserved while stored fat continues to supply energy, reflecting the body's evolutionary intelligence to protect strength and function during periods without food. This hormonal environment, characterized by low insulin and high growth hormone, is rarely achieved outside of fasting and strongly favors fat loss without muscle breakdown. Hour 23. Nutrient absorption and the eating window. As the eating window approaches, insulin sensitivity reaches a peak. Digestion has fully rested, inflammation has subsided, and cells are highly receptive to incoming nutrients. This is the most critical moment to make intentional food choices, because the body will absorb and utilize whatever is consumed with exceptional efficiency. Breaking the fast with high-quality protein supports tissue repair. Healthy fats maintain metabolic stability, and mineral-rich vegetables replenish electrolytes while supporting gut health and satiety. Adaptation, safety, and long-term success. Transitioning to one meal a day requires adaptation, as the body must rebuild enzymatic pathways for fat metabolism and ketone production, which can take several days to weeks depending on metabolic health. Electrolyte balance, adequate hydration, and gradual progression are essential for minimizing discomfort during this adjustment period. This approach is best suited for healthy adults and should be avoided or medically supervised in cases of pregnancy, high chronic stress, eating disorders, or metabolic conditions requiring medication. Final perspective. Hunger is not an emergency, but a biological signal that can be understood and regulated rather than feared. Beyond weight loss, one meal a day restores metabolic freedom, reduces dependence on constant feeding, and aligns modern life with an ancestral rhythm built around cycles of effort, nourishment, and recovery. You are not depriving your body. You are allowing it the time and space it needs to repair, recalibrate, and function as intended.